One of the daily check items is to check your fluid draw and your hydromider operations of all your chemical mixing tanks. And this one here, we walk up to this one here, we see that our chemical is drawn, falling down our line. It's not up full. When we pull our chain down and check our draw rate, we see that it is drawing. But when we let go of it, we're losing chemical. So we're not getting, every time this calls for water when this happens, calls for chemical, all that was filled with water, so we've diluted the chemical to the point where we can't get a good foam, we can't get a good concentrate for cleaning, so we're going to lose performance on our vehicles. As far as cleaning, or if it was a wax or a drying agent, we'd lose the drying performance. So in this situation here, what it looks like is we've got a bad foot valve. To take this here is take our foot valve out of our chemical tank. And this one here has lost its screen. And if we look at it at the end, we've got something lodged into the end of the cap. It's got a piece of, looks like a piece of wire, or a wire covering stuck inside there. So the best thing to do here is to replace the foot valve so that we have the proper screen on there. We take this one off, remove it, install a new one, set it back into place in our chemical to make sure it's in the bottom of the drum and not curled up. Come back up here and pull our line, get our drawer all the way up to the top again, let go and see if she'll hold. This one looks like just getting rid of some air bubbles, but it's going to hold fine. Draw up some air bubbles and get them out. Okay. Now we get two choices of either running the pump for a while and clearing this out with the water off, and we can do that there. We turn the pump back on. But first we have the valve changed. We're going to draw up to fill up the line. Okay. As long as that holds now and the foot valve is good, we're going to empty this tank so that we can refill it to the proper dilution rate. Shut our water valve off. Take our tank down. Pour it out, make sure it's clean. Reinstall our bucket and our suction lines, our float, and then we can turn our product back on again, slowly. And now we'll get filled back up with the proper concentrate so that we can properly wash the vehicles and make sure that we have the right foam consistency if it's a foamer, or beading action if it's a drying agent. The float shut off automatically. The height of that float, that water in the tank is adjusted by the float here on the hydromider. It can be disconnected, it can be raised up. If we want to have a little more storage in the tank, we can raise it up and that will continue to fill. If we want a little bit less in there, just lengthen the chain and it'll shut off and keep just a little bit less liquid in the tank. If we want to change the dilution rates on any hydromider, they come with a set of plastic tips. So as we remove the hose carefully, we expose the small injector tip. This one here happens to have a brown tip on there. If we wanted to change the dilution rate to make it stronger or weaker, we want to make sure it's flowing properly. We can make sure that the nozzle is unclogged. And if we want to change that tip to make it a little bit stronger or weaker, we'll go to our chart and pick the corresponding tip that makes either a stronger dilution or a weaker dilution, and insert the new hydromider tip by screwing it into what's called the inductor. Make sure that that's in there snug, and then resecure our hose all the way on, and then we've instantly changed our dilution rate to make our chemical a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker depending on our cleaning situations. All freshwater feeds on this manifold here. We've got drying agent, seal wax, final rinse, water to our tire shine panel, and then also water to our SF1s, our last set of rocker brushes. And this is a freshwater manifold, fed from fresh water. Makes the plumbing easier for the plumber. It all comes to one spot. Also the electrical for the electrician. To wire the solenoid valves is all coming from one central area. Then the hose is run out to the units themselves. The drying agent in this situation is being run from a DEMA injector. The DEMA injector has 2 adjustments on it, a water flow adjustment to help create the right amount of pressure to make the injector draw. Also, it has a small screw here that they put in and out to adjust how many ounces they draw. And you can see as soon as we put up here, it's got suction to it. And if you saw that again, we'll just draw some off here. We've got our chemicals back here. When we touch it to the unit, it pulls it right in. And by taking this screw and backing it in and out, it'll adjust the ounces per second or ounces per minute to get the right brake on the vehicle itself. This is flowing through a 4-gallon-a-minute rain arch. We also have the sealer wax, which is flowing the same way. We turn it up, it's got the same adjustments here, water flow and the chemical injection. This one here, for smaller concentrates, they've actually added even a small tip inside to reduce the amount of concentration that's there. And those are both flowing through 4-gallon-a-minute rain arches. And the freshwater rinse is just that, it's full flow fresh water running directly through an 8-gallon-a-minute rain arch to help set and brake the cars. Okay, and we turn them on, we can see the rain arch flow on the 4-gallon-a-minute with just the drying agent.